Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Holler. I want you to know that today I'm trying a little bit different way of recording. So please just bear with me if it takes me a little bit extra time today to be able to figure things out. So today we're going to talk about a new chapter. We're starting a new chapter. We're going from time and now we're going to move into measurement. Measurement is using different tools to be able to figure out how long something, how far something, and the distance of something is. So you might want to measure, how much wood do I need to be able to make a window frame? Or I'm going to put on a new deck at my house, and how much decking am I going to need? Or if I might have to measure, you could also measure things like in liquid form too. We're not going to spend a lot of time with that, but we're mostly going to spend time with the ruler and the yardstick. But you could also measure like things like I need 4 cups of water in my soup that I'm making. So it needs to be able to make sure that you know how to measure things there's lots of different reasons to measure things. So today we're going to talk about inches. And inches is a very common way to measure things that are not crazy big. We wouldn't measure like a football field with inches, or we wouldn't measure the distance from my house to South Central in inches because that would take us way too long. But inches would measure things that are a little bit smaller, maybe like a book or a desk or a chair or something like that, something that's a little bit smaller piece of paper. Those are all some different ways. And so they have given us some different things to be able to measure too. Now we're also going to talk about today 2 different ways of measuring. The first way of measuring is called an estimate. And an estimate is a good, smart guess at how much or how long something is. So if I was trying to make an estimate of something, I would try to think about, I know that a piece of paper is about 8.5 inches long. So how many pieces of paper would fit in my desk if I was trying to measure it? So it's just trying to use other things to be able to help you figure out the measurement without actually using a ruler. So that's where this is talking about at the bottom of our paper. It says place a color tile above your ruler. Remember, today I'm going to do everything for you. You don't have to do anything except for copy down what we're doing in your workbook. You don't have to actually do these different pieces and parts today because it has lots of things in it and we're not going to make you go chase down all those things. So here is my color tile, and if you look, it says to put the color tile from the 0 to the 1. So this color tile is 1 inch long. If I would put 2 of them on there, it would be 2 inches long, okay? So we want to know how many inches this color, each object would be. So here's a piece of our ruler. Whenever you're using a ruler, you're gonna always start at the 0. This is 1 inch, then 2 inches, then 3 inches. So how many of our color tiles do you think it would be to cover up this golf tee? All right, let's see what it is. If I cover that up, I start at the beginning. So it's about 2 inches. All right, let's think. What do you think maybe is the length of this highlighter? How many squares? Here's the first one. So how many do you think it might take? Let's see what it does. Now, I have a little bit extra here, but that's okay because remember, I'm just doing an estimate. So it's about how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5 inches. Our next one we're going to do is the crayon. How many do you think the crayon might have? If you said 3, you are correct. So that one is 3 inches. The last one is that hockey puck. here's the first one. How many inches do you think for that hockey puck? About. Very good. It's about 3 inches. All right, it's about 3 inches. So those are all different estimates. Now, the difference, remember I told you from an estimate is something that's close to it, but it might not actually be what it is. But if you want to get an actual distance on it or measurement on it, you'd have to use a ruler, which you should all have in your baggies. All right, 1 inch is about the length of 1 color tile. You can use what you know about inches to estimate the length of an object. Then use an inch ruler to measure the length. Helpful hint. Estimate. The length is about 3 inches. So she thought in her head that, it looks like it's about 3 of those color tiles. But then she actually got out her ruler and measured it, and it actually was 3 inches long. So I have a few things here that we're going to do. We're not going to do all of them because some of them are school things and some of them I just don't have here at my house. So the first one is, it says, find the object, estimate the length, and then measure each object in inches. So the first one, this one says chalk. Well, I don't have chalk, but I have some markers, okay? So if I put down this square right here, how many do you think? How many squares do you think it would take? Maybe I'll put 2 down. There we go. How many would it be? All right, let's take a look. Here is my ruler, okay? And I always start. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I guess I need to get my paper back out here. So I'm gonna say it takes 6. It's about 6 of those squares, so it's 6 inches. Let's see what it actually is. Hot dog, I was right on the money. It is 6 inches. So our actual measure is 6 inches. All right, next is a lunchbox. Now I'm not usually a packer at school, so I'm a buyer most of the time. So I'm gonna use a paper bag here, and we're just gonna do the bottom of the paper bag. So if I give you 1 tile, how many inches do you think the bottom of the bag would be? I'm gonna say 3. All right, let's see here, about 3 inches. And now let's get our actual ruler out. Uh-oh, I didn't do very good, huh? It says, I put it right at the 0 at the corner, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. So it actually is about 5 inches. Okay, we're gonna look at this now on my own, but we're gonna actually do it together. It says find an object, estimate the length, and measure each object in inches. The first one's a shoe. Now, I have a humongous shoe. So I found a little flip-flop hanging around here. So let's see here if I can get that in there. Let's try it this way. Whew. How long do you think this flip-flop is? I'm gonna put 2 out here so it helps you think. If it's 2 of those, how many of those squares do you think it would be all the way to the end of the flip-flop? I'm going to say 10. That's gonna be my estimate. My estimate is 10. So I'm gonna get my actual ruler out. Now you might not see the top of it. I'll just let you see the bottom of it. Hey, look at there. I wasn't too far off. It's at the 9. So there are 9 inches in this flip-flop. So I'm gonna put that 9. I wasn't too far. Next is a pair of scissors. Here are my scissors. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 of them there. How many tiles, how many inches do you think that whole the scissors would take? I'm gonna say, what if I said 18? Do you think that's reasonable or a close estimate at all? No, 18 would be way too many. I'm gonna say 6. Let's see how many there actually is. Oh, I'm gonna write on my paper here. 6 is my estimate. All right, here are my scissors. And the actual is 7 inches. 7. All right. So about 7 inches is our actual measure. 7 inches. Next is a paintbrush. Let's take a look at the paintbrush here. All right, I'm gonna give you 2 of these. What do you think? If there's about 2 inches, how many inches do you think my paintbrush is? I'm going to say 7. So I'm gonna write on my paper here, about 7 is my estimate. Now let's see my what the actual measurement is. Oh, I was close. It's 8. It is 8 inches. Our next one and our last one, because I have a desk at home, but not a desk like that, so we can just cross out number 7. So number 6 is our last one, is a piece of paper, okay? And a piece of paper is just like what we have right here. So I want you to think about how many do you think, how many of these tiles will go across the bottom of our math paper? I'm thinking 10. All right, let's see what our actual, by using our measurement is. It's pretty close to 8. It is pretty close to 8. See how I started my ruler real at the 0. I can't start my ruler like this and make it 10 because it's wasting all of this space over here. Oops. Over here, right? So we need to make sure that we are just starting at the very end, and it is going to be 8 inches. Oops. Okay. Number 8 says, Kyla's surfboard must be at least 15 inches longer than 48 inches. Should Kyla choose a surfboard that is 55 inches long or 65 inches long? Let's take 48 inches plus 15 inches. What's 48 plus 10? 48 plus 10, I hope you said 58. Now, if I said, which one should she do? 55 inches or 65? Look, just adding 10 made it to go to 58. Is the 55 inches going to work? No, it's not. So it's going to have to be 65 inches. Let's just see if we did 58 plus 5. Who can do that one for me? Think about what that might be. Add 5 to 58 would be 60. Anybody know? 3. So if there would be 63 inches, then you would need to at least have the 65.